Welcome to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprofit.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and today we're getting into some 2020 talk here with our 2020 bounce back players. We each got 5 players to go over who we think we're going to bounce back in the upcoming season. So, I didn't go too crazy with my list, but we'll see what we did. I don't know. I think there's some really good candidates this year for that. I think it actually worked out pretty well. Before we do that, I think we got a couple things actually to go over, announce before we get into the episode. Just posted on Instagram. If you were part of the relegation leagues, go check it out on Instagram. Our post yesterday on Wednesday, where we have all of the new league assignments, people going up, people going down. So go check that out, see where you are now. And we also got our records page going for the relegation league. And if you're not involved and you want to be on the lookout this, spring, very early summer, I'm sure we'll have spots come open. And who knows, maybe we go crazy and add another league or two. I don't know yet, Jeff. It's possible. We didn't have enough, right? Only 25.
There's always room for more.
Maybe. There will be spots either way. I don't know how it's going to play out, but there will be spots available. And then, I guess speaking of fantasy football leagues already for 2020, we have gotten involved with the Fantasy Football Show, who has a league that is going to be a slow draft. It's going to start on Super Bowl Sunday already, which is crazy. And we were given 2 spots to give away, but this league is kind of nuts. There's 96 teams, and there will actually be 8 copies of each player in the draft. So there'll be 8 Christian McCaffreys. You can only pick them once, but it's going to be 96 teams. So you might end up with pick 96. It's going to be forever, but it's basically the equivalent of a 12-team league then. But it makes for some interesting, it's going to be a little nuts, I think. So we were given 2 spots to give away. And so people have been writing in to us and saying why they deserve a spot. So we've decided to give away the 2 spots. We got 2. I guess I'll announce them right now. I'll post it on Instagram too. First one is going to Jason, who's been a longtime listener and subscriber on Instagram and all that good stuff. He's going to get 1 spot. It's _ProudDadOf3_ on Instagram. He's going to take one of the spots. And then the second spot is going to go to Walsh, JA6. He's going to pick up a spot. So James is going to pick up a spot for the league as well. So James and Jason are getting the spots. I'll get that over to Smitty at the Fantasy Football Show. He'll have your names. So ProudDadOf3 and Walsh, JA6 are getting the spots here for the Fantasy League starting on Super Bowl Sunday. So, all right, Jeff. Bounce back players. Let's get into that. Bounce back players.
Bounce back for 2020.
So I'll start it. I'll go with my 5. I think this is my order.
All right.
I had a hard time with my order. This one I think is pretty easy, I think, based on final, because where he ended up in the ranks. It's kind of, there's a built-in reason for it. I went with Melvin Gordon.
Okay.
It's almost cheating in a way because he missed the 4 games, I think, but it still makes sense. It works. Gordon, he ended up finishing 25th on the season. I don't know if this is going to be with the Chargers, though. I don't know. This is the problem with him, is I don't know where this is going to be. Is he going to go back to the Chargers? There hasn't been much talk lately about what's going to happen with that. So if he does, I think he'll be good. His points per game were very solid. And that's with the Chargers being down as a whole. They were just not great. I don't feel like they can be that bad again. I think they're going to only improve. So Melvin Gordon, I think, is an easy answer for me. So I'm with him at number 5.
Yeah, I had a difficult. There's actually quite a few people you can choose from. Gordon was on my short list. I didn't put him up there because of the holdout, but I get it. I think he should be. I get it. The one that I did, which is number 5, that once again, I'm not sure, depending on your vision of what a bounce back player is, this player did finish lower. He finished 47th as far as running back wise. But when he did play, he played well. So, depending on how you look at it. But it's Kerryon Johnson. The Lions are not going to draft a running back. They need a lot more help. When he was in there, he looked very, very good. He had, what do you have? I think he had 5 games that were in double digits. Obviously they didn't add anyone when he went down. He missed, probably 7-8 games. So I think his spot is obviously very safe. I think this one is a little bit of a no-brainer, but he was playing well before he got hurt. So Kerryon Johnson, number 5 for me.
He was probably the next one on my list. The same kind of thing. He was right there. Didn't quite make it,
Right.
but he's right there as well. I've actually seen some early running back ranks for 2020, and one of them I saw. He's 24th in ranks. Which if you're going to get Kerryon Johnson as like the 24th running back, is the 3rd running back, you're getting a steal. I think if he can stay healthy, which hopefully he can. But if he can stay healthy, you're getting a really good player at minimal price. If that's the kind of ranks people are going to throw out there for him. So I like Kerryon Johnson a lot for next year, too. It's going to be good value, I believe. So I guess I'll go my number 4. And I'm just going talent here. This is all talent because these guys are too good to be this bad again. And I went with Juju at my number 4 spot, which he finished, 66th on the year. And yes, he missed some games. He was hurt, but that's not even it. The points per game was abysmal. It was
bad.
In standard, it was 5.9 points per game in standard. It was a bad season. There's Ben Roethlisberger. That must have been a huge factor. You can't say. I mean, it has to be.
Without a doubt.
It's just that was massive.
You have that offense in general. Just everyone took a hit, right? Big Ben goes down in the beginning of the season. Obviously, that hurts you, and then you have a young backup, and then on top of that, you go to your third string quarterback for a large portion of the year. You couldn't really get the run game going. They know they can focus in on Juju. So, yeah, I mean, he had everything working against him. And just to tell you, Juju ends up as my number 2.
Yep.
Because I think not only did he get hurt, which is one part of it, but he didn't play all that great. And I think if Roethlisberger comes back, and I think they can get back on track because that defense is already a playoff caliber defense. They showed it this year. I mean, they almost made the playoffs, even with a third string quarterback, and when we've talked about it all. But yeah, without a doubt, I don't think it was because of a lack of talent. I think it was just the worst possible circumstances occurred for Juju this year.
It's crazy. Philip Dorsett played one less game than Juju and beat him by a spot. Philip Dorsett.
I know. It's crazy.
That's just unreal. So, all right, that's your number 2 then. Okay. So how about your number 4?
My number 4 is, I hope this isn't wishful thinking. And I'm wondering if he's going to show up on yours as well because you're a big fan. But for me, it's Geis.
He didn't, but I'm a big fan for next year.
I know you are. And I like and I don't think that Washington is going to be anything special, but I like the direction they're going in. And it's very sad to watch Geis because I think Darius Geis is a very talented player. He has not been able to stay healthy. This year when he finally got in and played, I mean, in week 13, he scored 25 points, 10 carries for 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. He looked pretty good after he came back. He tried to play week 1 and got hurt. Came back in week 11. Week 11 through week 14, he showed me what I wanted to see, but then he got hurt again. So I'm hoping that he gets it together. The reason why he's so low is because I truly don't I wouldn't put a lot of stock in him just because I don't trust the injury already 2 years in a row. And I'll be honest, I really love the fact that they went out and got Bryce Love, who no one's going to talk about. He's going to be another sleeper candidate for me as long as he gets healthy because he got hurt his final year of college. He would have been a top round pick. So I like the fact they have both of these guys, but they both have injury problems. I think they'll play them both a lot. Adrian Peterson is not long for Washington. Maybe he has one more year. So if Geis gets healthy, he will be a steal.
I agree. All right, so Geis is your number 4. I will go with my number 3. And I'm not sure who's all going to agree with this, but I still think this guy he's too good. He's way too good. It's Odell Beckham. He's too good. I don't know what happened last year. Hopefully, maybe Freddie Kitchens was just not a good coach and the whole thing blew up because of it. And maybe Baker's actually going to, this really ends up, a lot of it ends up depending on Baker Mayfield, truly. If it kind of feels to me like maybe he didn't put the work in he really needed to last year. He filmed too many commercials, it seemed like. And maybe this year this was a wake-up call where he's really going to put in the work in the offseason and come back better. Whoever they get at coach, hopefully it works out. But Odell ended up he played all 16 games. and ended up 31st at wide receiver in standard. 31st at wide receiver. I mean, he was one spot behind DK Metcalf. So Odell Beckham, terrible season. I think he's too good. I think he's just way too good. There's too much talent there. He's plenty young enough. He's going to bounce back. I'm expecting a big season from him. Not big, but big, more Odell standards. Typical Odell. So Odell Beckham, my number 3.
Yeah, I didn't pick him. I think it's an easy pick, and I can't disagree with you because he is that talented. I just I don't know why. A little too disapproving. Like I'm still trying to figure out what happened. I'm kind of along with you. Like if Mayfield makes the jump, which he was on my short list as well, because I don't think he could be as bad as he was this year. Like again,
Right. Yeah.
So I do agree with you. I didn't put him on there, but I think you easily could. So I think that's a good pick. My number 3 is another wide receiver that went from a high-powered offense to not really sure what the heck happened. And he was injured a few games as well. I think he, concussion protocol and so on. But I think Brandon Cooks is far too consistent and far too good of a wide receiver in order to finish 61st again. And he made my number 3 because not only did he got hurt, but he just didn't play all that well.
He wasn't even good.
He didn't get in the end zone that much. He had a couple of games where, you get into the 70 to 100 yard range. That whole offense looked very disjointed. Jared Goff kind of they schemed him. They figured out how to stop him. Gurley never got going fully. I just don't see McVay allowing that to happen again. And I think Cooks being back to, what he's used to doing. Because on that too, if you look back between the Saints and Rams, this guy is always in the top 30. He is like a very safe player if you want him to be your number 2 wide receiver. I think he returns to that. I don't think he's a top 10 guy, but I think he is a very good quality wide receiver that people are going to look at this and downgrade him. And I think he'll have a bounce back season.
Yeah. If he can stay healthy, that's just the key. And with him,
well, the sad part is he only missed 2 games fully.
It just feels
from injury. I know
true.
it feels like a lot more.
It feels like that whole Rams offense was odd last year.
Yeah, they were bad. Cup was fine, but other than that,
just something about it. But all right, I'll go. Let's see, because your number 2 that was Juju, so we got your number 1 left, my number 2, and my number 1. I'll go with my number 2 here, and it's gonna be. I'm trying to think who you have at number 1. I feel like you have to have this guy.
I feel like I have a no-brainer.
I think you have to have this guy, Alvin Kamara.
No. Oh,
really?
shoot.
No. Okay. I didn't know if you
I
have
say
him
no-brainer, and then he doesn't show up.
I don't know. I'm trying to think here.
All right, well, you
Alvin
pitch Kamara.
He finished 16th. He finished 16th this season.
It's very true. And I, once again, he was on my short list, but you can do the why.
The guy's, again, ridiculously talented. I'm not sure what exactly happened with it. It was, a lot of this thing is just battling injury all year. It doesn't, because some of this just doesn't quite make sense sometimes where I just don't know. I don't know what the deal was. You saw the flashes of, again, that he can be really good, and I think they just got to utilize him again. They got to. I don't know what it is. It's just players this good don't finish 16th. They move back up. This just can't. We've seen 2-3 seasons of this from Alvin Kamara, how good he was, and then he wasn't great this year. He was right there. He finished behind Miles Sanders. He finished behind Josh Jacobs. These rookies. He's better than that, and he's gonna, I think, show it next year and have a great season. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think the only reason I didn't put him on my top 5 is because he still finished at 16th, which, yes, very disappointing for him, but still didn't blow you out of the water. So, I think the bounce back is just a little, only because he's so good in my head. Anyway, the number 1 for me, and this is why I thought it was kind of a no-brainer for me. You forget about him because he was injured the entire year, but I went with AJ Green. So I love the fact that he sat out the entire year after ankle surgery. Obviously, every time he plays, he's going to be drafted in the top 10 as far as wide receiver. He'll be in the top 20. I don't know if he's ever finished outside of that, besides for injury. And if he stays at Cincinnati, I think he'll still be good. And if he goes somewhere, I don't think that it can get worse than Cincinnati, right? And I still think he'll be good there. So I think AJ Green is a very simple, hey, he should be healthy. He had an entire year off. And you're going to have a situation with either Cincinnati's going to pay him, so he's got to go out there and play, or, change of scenery. And now maybe he's on a contender even, and we can really see what the guy can do. So he is in the later stages of his career, but I still think he's going to be in his prime as long as that ankle isn't more messed up than they let on. But AJ Green, number one for me.
I don't know about the team. I guess I don't know. Yeah, it's probably good he didn't just come back to that team this year and risk injury more and for just a terrible team. There was no point. So, yeah, I don't know what he has left though. I guess I just don't know. But with a hopefully a good quarterback, a good rookie quarterback, a good running back, they're getting their first round pick on the offensive line back next year. Yeah, it could work out if he still has something left. We'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah, so it'll be all injury. I mean, we saw him before he got hurt, right? I mean, 2018, he was off to a crazy good start. So unless the ankle is really bothering him or he just hasn't been taking care of himself, I think that he does have enough left in the tank. It'll be very interesting to see where he's drafted. That is what I'm really looking at because there's a lot of guys that have dropped off, right? And we named a bunch of them already. Like, how far does Odell fall? How far does someone like a Brandon Cooks, who seems like a, Woods, so AJ Green is going to be a name still. So I do wonder if you're going to have to overpay for him, but I do believe in the talent, and I just don't think he can completely fall off. I think if he plays, he's worth drafting.
All right. I'll go with my number one now. Finish this off. Oh, this one, most people won't agree with me. They think it's over. I don't. I'm back on the bandwagon. Todd Gurley. What do you think?
First of all, I get the why people are down on him, right? Only because you expect Todd Gurley, the MVP. But you look at the numbers he put up, at least as far as the other running backs. Was he elite? No. But even with using him a little bit less, and even with the Rams not doing well, where did he finish? He was still fine. You know what I mean? And so, yes, I do agree with you. I truly don't know how they're going to use him. I have no vision of the future when it comes to Gurley. I still believe in his talent, and if for whatever reason they decide to play him because, hey, why hold back on him? Like, he's going to be phenomenal.
He still had 12 touchdowns this year. Yeah, or 14 touchdowns. Got the receiver 14 touchdowns.
Yeah, and he did fine. Where did he finish up?
Let's see here. I have him as the overall 12th running back in the league.
Okay, so
RB back in RB1.
Yeah, so that's kind of my thing. Is like, are they going to increase his volume again to the point where he can return to elite level? Because he beat out Alvin Kamara.
They got to do something. That team's they blew
it.
I don't know what they were doing.
I just don't think he was bad enough to call it a comeback.
Because I think he's going to bounce back.
You think he's going to come back to MVP level?
That's why I think Gurley and Kamara are going to be near the top again.
Okay. I'm too afraid to make that prediction.
I just don't think he was that bad. I think
he wasn't that bad.
He wasn't good, but the offensive line has a lot to. I think they're going to make some changes. It's going to work out. Gurley's going to be good.
Yeah, I do love anyone that like now they want to like rail on him. Honestly, I feel pretty good. Like if you picked a guy in the end of the first round or the beginning of the second, and he finished as the 12th, it does not kill you. People are talking about Gurley like he's dead, like he didn't get any touches or something. That's the only reason I kind of agree with you. But 12th,
But all right, that's it for bounce back players. But I think we're going to go over to point spreads again for playoffs here. Finish off this episode.
You murdered me this one.
So
it did not go well.
Once again, point spread picks are brought to you by MyBookie.com. Go there, use promo code PROFIT, get you some bonus money to spend as you try to figure out, how these games are going to go this week. And if you would have gone to MyBookie last weekend, used my picks against the spread, you would have made a lot of money. Put them in a parlay, it would have been a good payday for you. I went 4-0.
You did
4-0 last week in point spread picks. So if you go to MyBookie, got some NFL games this weekend. You got the National Championship Monday night. You got, LSU, Clemson. Go bet on that. You always got NBA, college basketball's getting, a little bit more interesting as we get closer to March. So go there, go to MyBookie, use that promo code PROFIT. So point spread picks, like I said, I went 4-0. Jeff went 2-2. So not bad, but so if we're adding that to the scoreboard, I'm up 1 on you.
Yeah, we are not.
All right, we got 4 games again this week. Let's see how we do here. We got first one, Minnesota playing at San Francisco. San Francisco 7-point favorites at home against the Vikings.
Dude, give me Minnesota, actually.
I was going to go the same there. I think Minnesota, they get that run game rolling with Dalvin Cook. They're within 7 points.
Yeah, that's my thing. I think
San Francisco's not some dominant team. They're a very good team, but they can be beat. That won't be a surprise. Tennessee at Baltimore.
Okay, first of all, I was wrong on Tennessee, but I was cheering for them. But I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was really enjoying it. What is the spread?
9.5.
Dang it! Why is this so much? Okay, in this, I still think I love the Ravens. I want them to win the whole thing. But I'm going to go Titans. I think they keep it below.
Close.
Yeah, I think they keep it, once again, even a touchdown.
They're going to try to just slow this game down and run it with Henry, aren't they? I'm going to go Baltimore, but I don't feel good about it. But I'm going to lean that way. Houston at Kansas City. Kansas City 9.5-point favorites at home. It's a lot of points, but you know what? I think Kansas City rolls.
Yeah, I go KC as well. I did not like what I saw from Texans last
I'm not
week.
a big Texans fan.
It was a great ending, but let's be honest. Texans, they made enough plays to win, but man, it was more given to them then.
All right, here we go. Last game. Seattle at Green Bay. Green Bay 4-point favorites at home. I'm going Seahawks.
Yeah, give me Seahawks.
I like Seahawks in this one.
So the only one we are not on are Titans, Ravens.
Yeah.
So we can we'll keep it. We'll see who wins the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll see that. We'll have 2 more weeks after that, but once again, make sure you go to MyBookie, use that promo code PROFIT, and that's going to do it for today's
show. One last thing. What is the spread for the national championship game?
Let me find this
I do want to know that. I think that would be a fun one to talk about.
We'll add that one. Let's see. Clemson, LSU point spread. It's going to be LSU by 5.5, I'm going to guess.
I think 5.5?
Yeah.
I would take LSU still.
Let's see here what's going to happen.
I'm thinking it's going to be I'm going to say it's going to be 9.5. I think it's going to be big. Maybe not. Actually, I think I'm overblowing this one.
5.5.
5.5? Damn, good for you. I'll take LSU.
I guess we've done point spreads enough.
Yeah.
I can figure out where it's going to be.
Who would you take on that?
I think I'd go LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go LSU with that one. All right, that'll do it. I think we'll be back next week with, I don't know, I think we'll do fall-off players. We'll pick 5 players each who we feel are going to fall off from where they finish this season. There's definitely some candidates there. So we'll be back next week. Talk to you guys then.